Hey there, if you've been enjoying the stories I share here, please consider subscribing. Your support keeps me motivated to keep creating.
Thank you.
Now, let's dive into today's story. I knew deep down I was crossing a line. My entire body screamed at me to stop. But the moment I slid the hotel keycard into the lock and pushed the door open, I never imagined who I'd find waiting inside. My husband. For a split second, my heart stopped beating. It hadn't begun there, though. The unraveling had started 6 weeks earlier. Marcus and I had been married for 9 years, and if anyone on the outside was asked, they'd describe us as steady, reliable, maybe even enviable. But that stability came with a price. We had become predictable. Every day looked the same: work, dinner, sleep, repeat. No spark, no surprises. I told myself it was just a season, something we'd move past. And then Julian walked into my life. He worked with the marketing firm our company had hired. Julian had this charm, the kind that came not from smooth words, but from the way he looked at you, really looked, and listened. He made me feel noticed again. At first, it was harmless. Coffee after meetings. Light messages at night. I convinced myself it was innocent. But it wasn't. One Friday evening, I sat with him in his car outside the office, talking and laughing until suddenly he leaned across the console and kissed me. I jerked back, breathless, blurting that I was married. His reply was just a whisper: "So am I." Silence followed, heavy and electric. That should have been the end, but it wasn't. The next week, we met again. Different cafe, different corner of the city. I kept pretending I was only trying to figure it out, but we both knew the truth. One night, after Marcus had gone to bed, I stood alone in the kitchen when Julian's message lit up my phone. His words made my stomach twist. "I booked a room. Just to talk. No pressure." I stared at the screen, typed "no," deleted it, then finally sent "okay." The day of the hotel meeting, I told Marcus I had a women's networking dinner downtown. He barely looked up from his laptop, just nodded. A small part of me wished he'd noticed something in my face, call me out, stop me. But he didn't. I arrived early at the hotel. It was one of those chic boutique places, dim lighting, expensive fragrances in the air, velvet everywhere. My nerves buzzed. I promised myself it wouldn't cross into anything physical. I'd just talk to Julian. Just talk. The elevator carried me to the 7th floor, room 712. My hand shook as I slid the keycard in. But when the door opened, it wasn't Julian waiting inside. It was Marcus. He stood by the window, his expression calm but his eyes blazing with a fire I'd never seen. The kind of look someone gives only once, when they've been deeply betrayed. I froze. My voice was barely a whisper. What are you doing here?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he gestured toward a chair like this was some cold business meeting instead of the collapse of our marriage. "I've been watching for a month," he finally said, his voice low. "Not in person, digitally. I saw the messages, the emails, the hotel booking. I needed to know if you'd actually go through with it." I couldn't breathe. My lips parted, but no sound came out. "And you did." I sank into the chair because my legs couldn't carry me. Shame, fear, anger, all tangled inside me. "I don't even know where to begin," I whispered. For the first time in years, Marcus looked like a stranger. His voice was flat. "Start with the truth." So I did. I told him everything. The rush I felt with Julian, how invisible I had felt in our marriage, how I thought I could stop it but didn't. I admitted we hadn't been intimate yet, but I wanted to, and that was enough. Marcus stared for a long moment before walking to the door. Panic rose in me, and I stood too. "Marcus, please, don't just walk away." His tone was unervingly calm. "I'm not leaving. You are." It wasn't until I stepped into the hallway that reality sank in. I had walked into that hotel expecting an affair, but instead, I'd stepped into a confession booth. Only this priest wore a wedding ring, and had every reason never to forgive me. For 3 days, I heard nothing from Marcus. He stayed with a friend. I stayed at home, too humiliated to tell a soul what had happened. Every buzz of my phone sent my heart racing, but it was never him. Finally, he returned. He looked different, colder, as though something inside him had hardened. "I talked to Julian's wife," he said. My stomach dropped. "What?" She had a right to know. I nearly doubled over with nausea. You had no right. He cut me off. And you had the right to betray me? Silence swallowed the room. He didn't raise his voice, didn't throw things, and somehow that made it worse. I don't know if I want this marriage anymore, he admitted. But I'm not making that decision yet. Then he laid out his terms. We would go to counseling. I would sever all contact with Julian, no exceptions. I would share my passwords, my location, complete transparency. Humiliating, but I agreed, because despite shattering something sacred, I couldn't bear to lose Marcus. Therapy stripped us bare. We dissected the years of small wounds, how I stopped asking about his day, how he escaped into his laptop instead of into my arms. We saw how we'd both disappeared, me emotionally, him physically. One session, I broke down and said the words I'd been choking back since that night in the hotel. I thought you didn't love me anymore. Marcus's eyes softened. I didn't know how to show it. But I never stopped. I didn't deserve this. Julian tried to reach out once, from a new number. A single message, I miss you. I'm sorry. I blocked him without answering. It's been 8 months since then. We're still in therapy. Still married. Some days, it feels like we're strangers rebuilding from rubble. Other days, we laugh like before. We've started leaving post-it notes for each other on the bathroom mirror. Tiny, silly, honest reminders that we're still trying. I told Marcus I'd never forgive myself for what I almost did. His reply was simple. I'm not asking you to. Just don't forget it. And I won't. I never will. That night, I didn't expect my husband to be the one waiting in the hotel room. But maybe, just maybe, that was the only thing that saved us.